Well, welcome. I thought I'd just do first sort of video attempt just to show you around this machine. It's a Mcconnel Robocut or Roboload, as this one was supposed to carry a loader, but that was taken off before I bought it. This has actually got a obviously a track machine. It's also got the grass head on it, which basically means it's designed for cutting thick grass, thick vegetation, even anything up to sort of small trees. It's got Y-shaped flails. It's in relatively good condition. They do need replacing fairly regularly. They spin round the bonnet bolt, which is obviously attached to the drum. There is actually a roller at the back end here which rolls the grass down. The machine itself is fully remote control, hydraulically driven, hydrostatic, two different circuits, one for the auxiliary, the cut head, and the propulsion, which is basically track motors, just like a mini excavator. As you can tell, the tracks on it are actually metal studded and cleated, which is supposed to give you extra grip on very hard to reach terrain, very steep terrain, anything up to around 55 degrees. It's a Japanese, it's actually badged in a Isuzu engine, but it's actually Gen1My, which are one and the same thing. Obviously, start procedure, turn the key, and the remote control is here. It's fairly simplistic to control. Joystick forwards, backwards, left, right, and up, down for the cutter head. You can control the ground speed, you can control the bias, so when you're crossing slopes you can have one track moving slightly quicker than the other. We've got a reversible fan, which when the debris gets stuck on this fan here, all the dust, debris, you can actually have the fan on, which is a reversible fan. You can switch the forward and reverse direction via that switch. Cutter engage on and off, and you've also got ground speed on that button there. That's the flap up and down, and this is the auxiliary, which was to do with the loader system. So what I'm actually planning on doing with this machine is mounting a hydraulic winch to the back end of the machine, so it could potentially self-recover if needed, if we get it stuck in a very awkward position. The air cleaner, external air cleaner, as you notice, there's not many guards on this machine. Sort of one of the slight downsides too, it actually allows vegetation to get into the track system, which is fine in the track system, but actually getting into the engine area is not so great for obvious reasons. If it's really dry, it can get very hot, potentially catch fire. On the front end of the machine there is also a lid there, so underneath there you can actually fuel the machine, hydraulic oil. This section here is the ECU, which I've had some issues with. When I purchased the machine, there was a problem with a microprocessor on the board, which was quite difficult to find. It did take a bit of time to work that one out. As you can see, the machine's in pretty good condition really. It's a 2014 machine, but it's in very good condition. Very low hours. It's only done, I think, roughly just over 500 hours. In fact, we can turn the key on and wait for the screen to kick in. Probably not quite so clear. There you go. It'll focus on it. 544 hours from new. So the machine's not really done a great deal at all. I am planning on changing these tracks out to what Mcconnel call, or Ennigreen I should say, which are Ennigreen, an Italian company who manufacture this machine, and it is badged up as a Mcconnel in the UK and probably many other countries around the world as well. The cutter head's made by Ennigreen, as it tells you on the maker's plate there. Can't quite see it clearly, but nonetheless it's still a pretty good machine. As you can see or tell by the exhaust, this is pre any of the emissions constraints, so there's no big DPF filter on there zapping lots of horsepower. This machine is claimed to be around the 40 horsepower mark, but realistically it's probably around the 35-36 horsepower, even though it's claimed to be 40 horsepower. So it's a pretty powerful machine compared to the second generation machines, which definitely suffer from sort of lack of power in some situations. When the regeneration system kicks in, it tends to zap quite a lot of horsepower away from the machine. So a lot of people actually rate this one over the newer variety. There's obviously quite a lot of moving parts on this machine, so there is a fair amount of maintenance. There's a fair amount of greasing to do on this unit. They recommend re-greasing the shaft bearings every 4 hours of use, so you do get through quite a bit of grease. It's probably a small price to pay. It's pretty easy to do, just grease nipples there, grease nipple on the rollers as well, which are sort of located round the back. They're pretty easy to get to. It's a pretty easy machine to maintain, really. You've just got to be really careful about where you put water, particularly in that screen there, which I had to replace that. The previous owner had obviously favoured a power washer, and it finished the screen off, so I had to put a new screen on it. So that was just another one of the issues when I bought the machine. But other than that, it seems pretty good, in very good condition. So I think what I'll do next is get on and do a little quick video of it running.